Class 11th, Subject Physics, 3rd chapter, Motion in a Plane. Motion in a plane. From this chapter, let us see numericals from exercise. Numerical number 1 is stated as an aeroplane has a run of 500 meter to take off from the runway. It starts from the rest and moves with constant acceleration to cover the runway in 30 seconds. What is the velocity of the aeroplane at the takeoff? And therefore, for this, the distance covered, that is runway, s is equal to 500 meter. Initial velocity u equal to 0. Time taken t is equal to 30 seconds, and we have to find out the velocity of that aeroplane at the takeoff, that is final velocity v. Now, as acceleration is constant for that aeroplane, therefore we can find out the distance covered will be equal to average velocity into time, that is v average into t. But v average is nothing but initial velocity plus final velocity upon 2, that is u plus v upon 2, and into this time interval t. But u is equal to 0, and therefore we can write 0 plus v upon 2 into t, which comes out to be v by 2 t, v by 2 t. Now, therefore the velocity of the aeroplane at the takeoff, the velocity of the aeroplane at the takeoff will be given as v is equal to 2s upon t, 2s upon t. That will be equal to 2 into 500 upon 30, 2 into 500 upon 30, which comes out to be 100 by 3 meter per second, 100 by 3 meter per second. Now we have to convert it into kilometer per hour, and therefore we can write v is equal to 100 by 3 into 3600 upon 1000 kilometer per hour. Simplifying this, we will get 360 upon 3, that is equal to 120 kilometer per hour, 120 kilometer per hour. This will be the velocity of the aeroplane at the takeoff. Then let us see numerical number 2, which is stated as a car moving along a straight road with a speed of 120 km per hour is brought to rest by applying brakes. The car covers a distance equal to 100 meter before it stops. Then we have to calculate first the average retardation of the car, and second time taken by the car to come to rest. And therefore for this numerical, given data is initial velocity u is equal to 120 km per hour. It will be converted into meter per second as 120 into 1000 upon 3600, which comes out to be 100 by 3 meter per second, 100 by 3 meter per second. Then distance covered s is equal to 100 meter, s is equal to 100 meter. Final velocity v will be equal to 0 as it comes to rest. Then we have to find out the retardation, that is negative acceleration. A will be negative, its value we will have to find out, and the time taken to come to rest, that is t is equal to question mark. Then let us see first one by considering the third kinematical equation, that is third equation of motion, v square equal to u square plus 2as, v square equal to u square plus 2as. But since v is equal to 0, therefore we will get u square plus 2as must be equal to 0, as v square will become equal to 0. And therefore we can write as u square plus 2as equal to 0, therefore 2as will be equal to minus u square. Therefore a will be equal to minus u square upon 2s, minus u square upon 2s, which will be equal to minus 100 by 3 square upon 2 into 500, 100 by 3 square upon 2 into 500, which comes out to be a equal to minus 100 into 100 upon 9 into 2 into 500. 9 into 2 into 500, which comes out to be minus 50 upon 9. Minus 50 upon 9, which will be equal to minus 5.556 meter per second square. Minus 5.556 meter per second square, and therefore we can write the average retardation of the car. Average retardation of the car will be equal to minus A, which will be equal to 5.556 meter per second square. 5.556 meter per second square. This will be the required retardation of the car, that is negative acceleration. Then second, we have to find out time interval t. For that purpose, we will consider first kinematical equation, that is first equation of motion, phi is equal to u plus at. Again it will be equal to 0 since phi is equal to 0. And therefore, as u plus at is equal to 0, therefore u will be equal to minus at. And therefore, t will be equal to minus u upon a, which will be written as minus 100 by 3 upon minus 50 by 9. Minus minus will become plus, and further we can write 100 by 3 into this 9 by 50. 100 by 3 into 9 by 50. Simplifying this, we will get t is equal to 300 by 50. 300 by 50, which comes out to be 6 seconds. So this will be the required time taken by that car to come to rest. Then let us see numerical number 3, which is stated as a car travels at a speed of 50 km per hour for 30 minutes. Then at 30 km per hour for next 15 minutes, and then 70 km per hour for next 45 minutes. What is the average speed of the car? And therefore, for this numerical, the given data is phi1 equal to 50 km per hour. For that, t1 will be equal to 30 minutes, that will be equal to half, means 0.5 hour. 0.5 hour, because these 30 minutes will be converted into hour by 30 by 60. 30 by 60, that is half, that will be equal to 0.5 hour. Then second velocity v2 is equal to 30 km per hour. For that, time is t2 equal to 15 minutes, that is 15 by 60, which comes out to be 0.25 hour. 0.25 hour. Then v3, third velocity is 70 km per hour. 70 km per hour, and time interval t3 equal to 45 minutes, that will be equal to 45 by 60, which comes out to be 0.75 hour. 0.75 hour, and we have to find out average velocity phi average. And therefore, average velocity will be given as sum of all the displacements divided by sum of all the time intervals, that is s1 plus s2 plus s3 upon t1 plus t2 plus t3. But this distance covered will be equal to velocity into time, and therefore it will be further written as v1 t1 plus v2 t2 plus v3 t3 upon t1 plus t2 plus t3. Putting the values, we will get phi average equal to 50 into 0.5 plus 30 into 0.25 plus 70 into 0.75 upon 0.5 plus 0.25 plus 0.75, which comes out to be phi average equal to 25 plus 7.5 plus 52.5 divided by 1.5, which is equal to 85 upon 1.5, which will be written as shifting the decimal 850 upon 15. 850 upon 15, which comes out to be 56.66 km per hour. 56.66 km per hour. This will be the required average velocity. And now let us go for next numerical, that is numerical number 4, which is given as the velocity time graph is shown in the adjoining figure. So in this figure, the graph of velocity against time is given, and then from this we will have to find out, from this graph of velocity against time, we will have to find out first initial speed of the car, second maximum speed attained by the car, third part of the graph showing zero acceleration, then fourth part of the graph showing constant retardation, and fifth distance traveled by the car in the first 6 seconds. And therefore for this numerical, the graph of velocity in terms of meter per second and time in terms of second, that graph is plotted. Along x-axis time is taken as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds, and along y-axis velocity in terms of meter per second is taken as 0, 5, 10, 15, 20. Now first of all, that car will travel for 3 seconds. At that time graph plotted will be OA part in the first 3 seconds. Then next from 3 seconds to 6 seconds part AB will be traced, and then for 6 to 8 that graph will be BC. And therefore we will find these quantities one by one. The first quantity is given as the initial speed of the car, that is at t is equal to 0. So when t is equal to 0, phi is equal to 0, and therefore answer will be 0 meter per second. So at time interval t is equal to 0, that is initially speed of the car will be equal to 0. Then second, maximum speed attained by the car. Maximum speed attained by the car. So if you trace this graph, then this AB part will represent maximum speed of the car, and its value is 20 meter per second. Therefore this maximum speed attained by the car will be equal to 20 meter per second. Then third is part of the graph showing zero acceleration. So for zero acceleration, velocity must remain constant, and from this graph, for this AB part, velocity remains constant because this AB graph is parallel to x-axis, and therefore velocity is constant from A to B, and therefore the part of the graph showing zero acceleration will be part AB. So for this part AB, velocity remains constant, that means acceleration will be 0. Then fourth is part of the graph showing constant retardation. Constant retardation means constant negative acceleration. Constant negative acceleration, and therefore for this part there will be increase in acceleration, that means this will be positive acceleration, while for this part BC, that graph is decreasing, velocity is decreasing linearly, and therefore for this part BC there will be negative acceleration, and therefore we can write the part of the graph showing constant retardation will be part BC. So for this BC part, acceleration is negative, that is the retardation. Then fifth will be distance covered by the car in first 6 seconds. So in the first 6 seconds, so from 0 to 6, the graph traced will be from O to A to B, O, A, B, and therefore in order to find the distance covered in first 6 seconds, we will have to find out the area under this graph, OAB. So this will be the area under this curve, will be the distance covered in 6 seconds, and therefore we can write distance covered by the car in first 6 seconds will be equal to area under the curve OAB. But if you consider this part OAB, so for this path, one triangle and one rectangle will be there, and therefore area of this total graph under this curve OAB will be equal to sum of area of this triangle plus area of this rectangle, and therefore we can write S will be equal to distance covered will be equal to area of triangle OAE plus area of rectangle ABDE, which will be equal to half OE into AE, that is half base into height, plus AB into AE, that is length into breadth. That will be equal to, putting the values, half into 3 into 20, half into 3 into 20 plus 3 into 20, 3 into 20, which comes out to be 30 plus 60, 30 plus 60, which will be equal to 90 meter. So distance covered in first 6 seconds will be equal to 90 meter. And then we will go for next numerical, that is numerical number 5, which is given as, numerical number 5 is stated as, a man throws a ball to maximum horizontal distance of 80 meters. Calculate the maximum height reached. And therefore for this numerical, given data is maximum horizontal distance, that is Rmax equal to 80 meter. And we have to find out the maximum height h. So the horizontal range is given as r is equal to u square sine 2 theta upon g. Horizontal range r is equal to u square sine 2 theta upon g for a projectile, and h will be equal to, height will be equal to u square sine square theta upon 2g. U square sine square theta upon 2g. Now this r will be maximum when value of this sine 2 theta is maximum, and we know that for any angle sine 2 theta, sine of any angle will be equal to 1. And therefore Rmax will be equal to u square by g only. U square by g if sine 2 theta is equal to 1. Similarly, for this h to be maximum, sine square theta, value of this sine square theta must be equal to 1. So that h max will be u square by 2g. U square by 2g. And therefore we can write for Rmax, sine 2 theta must be equal to 1. For r is equal to Rmax, sine 2 theta must be equal to 1, and therefore 2 theta must be equal to 90 degree, because sine of 2 theta is equal to 1. For 90 degree, its sine is equal to 1, and therefore 2 theta angle will be equal to 90 degree, or theta will be equal to 45 degree. As 2 theta is equal to 90 degree, theta will be equal to 45 degree, and therefore Rmax will be equal to u square by g. Rmax is equal to u square by g. Now from this, the maximum height will be given as, maximum height h will be equal to u square sine 45 square upon 2g, because theta is equal to 45, therefore u square sine square theta upon 2g, that will be the value of h, and therefore h will be equal to u square sine 45 square upon 2g, which will be written as h is equal to u square, h is equal to u square into sine 45 is 1 by root 2 its square divided by 2g, but 1 by root 2 square, that is 1 by 2, and therefore 2 into 2 we will get 4g, and therefore it will be u square by 4g, u square by 4g, but u square by g is Rmax, u square by g is Rmax, and therefore further it will be written as Rmax by 4, as it is u square by 4g, u square by g is Rmax, so that Rmax by 4 will be maximum height reached, and that will be equal to, h is equal to, maximum height will be equal to maximum horizontal distance 80 divided by 4. Rmax is given 80, so 80 divided by 4, that will be equal to 20 meter. This will be the maximum height reached by the ball, that is 20 meter.